like have an understanding of your body, like what it's capable of at any given moment. And it's one of the things that drives me nuts about bad refereeing. Like, say if someone has a big burst and shoots for a takedown, massive struggle, gets it to the ground, and then is trying to intelligently move to a place where they could do damage, but the other person is defending well, and then the referee interferes and stands them up. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Do you know how hard it is to get someone to the ground? And if that person is having a hard time on the bottom, they should probably get up, figure out how to get up. But for you to just, the boos of the casuals, and you're like, come on, stand them up, and you just interfere in a fight, it drives me nuts.
Why did you do it? Less than 30 seconds to go. Sean O'Malley gets the finish.
He deserved the finish.
What?
He deserves to finish the fight.
I don't understand that. I really don't understand that.
But he took all those shots the whole time.
I don't understand that.
I think the attritive damage just was enough, and they didn't want to see it.
You gotta respect what that guy did.
Yep.
What that guy did for 3 rounds, you gotta let him finish.
I don't really think that they fully understand what it's like from like a fighter's point of view to be like, finally, I got this motherfucker down.
Right.
And then like to have him stand back up, and then you got to do the shit again.
Yeah, and on top of that, maybe, you empty the gas tank a little bit doing that, and this guy's fresh, and then you get kicked.
Yeah.
And then now your leg's compromised. Now you're switching stances, and now you're trying to relax, but now this guy's turning it on. Now you have to eat up the gas that you were trying to conserve, and now you're moving. It's unnatural. It's like there was an unnatural intervention in the exchange, and that was a referee.
I know. I always think about like how, because everyone talks about the judging and all that. I always wonder how that could actually be like, again, like reliably fixed.
My goodness, have we got to talk about this main event? Cory Sandhagen picking up the win over Chito Vera. Let's look at the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel like a lot of people are going to debate this one. It was a split decision win for Cory Sandhagen. We kind of thought it was pretty obviously his fight. But what do you make of the scorecards here? Look at these.
Well, I thought obviously Cory won the fight. In my head, there were possibly 2 rounds where we saw Chito start to show a little bit of an aggressive urgency, sense of urgency, 2 possible rounds. I did not think that sense of urgency still stole the round. I had it 50-45. Like I said, there's possibly 1 or 2 rounds. Joe Ojeda was the judge. I gave it 48-47. And for Vera, that is atrocious. How can you be a judge? You should have to explain yourself. You should have to go back to whoever his boss is and explain round for round how he judged it that way, because it was completely wrong.
You're not going to find someone who is more pro-judge than I am. I am a licensed judge in the state of Missouri, and I am telling you that there is absolutely no way that you can score that fight for Chito Vera. I love Chito. He didn't win the fight. Yeah. I can see a scorecard 49-46 for Chito. There was a round that you might have given to him. You cannot look at that fight and say that Chito Vera won that fight. In the judging criteria, more powerful shots, the more damaging shots, yes, they matter more. But volume can make up for the power. Yep. And when you look at the significant strike differential between these two, it is clear as day that Cory Sandhagen outstruck Chito Vera.
I think that the problem isn't with the criteria as much as it is with the actual rules. Like, I almost feel like say you work real hard, you get a takedown, and there's 3 minutes left on the clock, and then there's just so much ambiguity as to like how much is enough damage. That like there's so much ambiguity happening that, unfortunately, because it'll mess up some other things, I almost feel like you have to add in rules where like, okay, so I get stood up if I can make it so that this guy can't punch me for 30 seconds or whatever amount of time it is or something. But I almost feel like those types of problems only will get solved by rules. They won't get solved by this like ambiguity where like the ref can kind of make whatever decision, and each ref is different and each crowd is different and they're just making a bunch of decisions. So I think that someone, not me, should sit down and really think about, making it really clear and really straightforward about like the rules so that that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, I think in that sense that it is too subjective. It's too subjective, and too many referees have different ideas of what's acceptable. And also, you can see referees reacting to the crowd. You've seen, we all see that. I think that's ridiculous. That should never
Judges
take place.
too.
Recently, we saw Mario Yamasaki's pretty bad stoppage over the weekend between Priscilla Cachoeira and who was it? Shevchenko, of course. Yeah, sorry. You know, he said that he was allowing Priscilla to be a warrior. What do you think about that statement?
I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting, and I never want to see him reffing ever again.
Dana, what about the fact that people could argue that she could have tapped if the punishment got too much?
She didn't. She didn't tap, and that's the thing. The reality is when you're a fighter and you're in there, and it's one of the reasons that this sport is as big as it is, because most of you guys don't tap. Most of you guys stay in there, and she did fight like a warrior. For that idiot to say that he gave her the opportunity to be a warrior, no, you moron. You're in there to protect her from herself. He makes me sick. That guy has no business reffing fights, and I promise you, you're not going to see him again.
I think there's a real good argument to have like something like 10 judges and have, because like an experts, I mean, guys like, I mean, if you can get, I don't know, Faraz Sahabi would do it, but like that level of expert, you know, the guys like Saif Saud, these fucking world-class coaches and trainers, have guys like that judge fights. Yeah. You'll get a real solid understanding. And if you have 10 of those, 99.9% of the time, you're going to get the right winner. But if you have 3, and no disrespect, but some of these people just shouldn't be judging. If someone judged Marlon winning over you, they should not be judging an MMA fight, because they're not paying attention, maybe they're on drugs, but they definitely didn't see what I saw, so it doesn't make any sense to me. Sure. Even with the 10-point must system, which is a fucked up system. I also think there's something that Pride had that we really should take into consideration, that you judge the fight as a whole, and that the last parts of the fight are probably the most important parts. Like when you saw Volkanovski on top of Islam at the end of the fight, pounding on him, that is fucking gigantic. That matters. That matters, because if this is a schoolyard, the schoolyard analogy, the teachers come and break it up and you're on top, you fucking won. Yeah. No one's going to say, Islam won that fight, we got him. No, you didn't. Yeah. No, the teachers stopped the fight with Volkanovski on top of you, punching you in the face. Yeah. He won that fight. That's a great point. Everybody who saw that at the end was like, Volk got him.